What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Zach was right again. Zach was right again. Now we've got PSA getting sued for they've actually got a RICO suit, class action RICO suit going against them now. And I'm sure people have already heard about this, and it's not really a big surprise in the Pokemon community. Like, nobody's shocked. I've seen a lot of other content creators talk about it already, but I want to give my thoughts. I kind of want to just read through this article real quick. And this article's from Resale Calendar. It's pretty short, short, sweet. Just kind of gives a real quick. Anyway, like I said, dude, I've been saying this about this company, dude. They are shady. They don't deserve your business. These guys need to be shut down, dude. This is the second lawsuit that's been sent against them this year. And it's going to keep getting worse, dude. And people continue, for some reason, beyond my understanding, people are still oh no, they're still the best. They're still the best. Yeah, but they're not, dude. Like I said, I need that banner, dude. Zach's right. I need that. But because I'm just getting so frustrated with hearing about these guys, and then seeing they do part of the reason the Japanese government wants to get involved to regulate this hobby is because the PSA owns the group that dictates the price of the cards. So anyway, okay, so I want to get into this article. I want to just kind of read through it real quick, and like I said, give my thoughts. And so it says slapped with a RICO lawsuit. Let's see. So a Maryland man is filing a RICO class action against PSA and parent company Collectors Holdings, and he filed it on July 28th. The suit accuses PSA of subjective grading, which is what I've been talking about. Been talking about them being this way. Like I said, dude, they literally have an arm's length test where if they can look at it from arm's length, it doesn't matter if it's off center or if it's got whitening or anything like that, then it's most likely going to grade a 9 or a 10. That's subjective. You can't be subjective in this in this industry. It cannot be subjective. So it says the first half of Funk's, that's his last name, Funk, complaint reads like a long list of quality control failures. PSA markets its grading as objective, standardized, and expert-driven, which is all a lie. 100% a lie. The lawsuit argues that the real process leads to subjective eye appeal standard that lets an individual grader bump a card up or down based on vague read of what the market will accept, not on fixed measurable criteria. That's what I've been saying. You get a guy that just went through a divorce, yeah, he's going to be in a bad mood. He's like, oh, that guy's not getting a PSA 10. That make it a $10,000 card. Why would I want to give him a $10,000 card? My wife just left me. So yeah, right off the bat, dude. This dude, so the most striking example in this filing in PSA's very first certification, the certification number 000001 went to a T206 Honus Wagner that PSA's own grader later admitted was trimmed. So they sent in this guy. Now this happened back in the 90s. I want to say it was the late 80s, early 90s. Dude, they made an episode of Mysteries at the Museum about this card. So it's not like it's new information. That's what I don't understand either. We've literally known since the very beginning of PSA card grading that they're crooked. So it says he later admitted that it was trimmed, meaning that it was altered to look better than it actually was. PSA's published standards say altered cards will not be graded at all. Okay, now, and that's been part of their thing since the beginning. The complaint alleges that PSA graded it anyway, gave it a near mint 8. Near mint 8. Like, think of what that means for a card like that. Because it's like the only one. It's like the only one in existence. So it's never been revoked. Even after the trimming became public knowledge, the card eventually sold for $2.8 million while still sitting in its original PSA holder. Now, this is kind of a weird thing. This has like a link to PSA, and it says that the Honus Wagner, owned by Arizona Diamondbacks owner Ken Kendrick, isn't showing up in the PSA certification database anymore. But and it's got a link, and you can click on the link, and it's still in the database. So I don't know why this is even up here. It's kind of weird. On their own, those allegations would amount to a case of sloppiness or incompetence. In a product customers pay hundreds of millions of dollars for every year. Funk's second claim is what turns it into a RICO suit. PSA's parent company, Collectors Holding, does not just grade cards. It also owns the leading card pricing platform, a vault and resale service for graded cards, an instant cash offer program, and a lending arm that uses graded cards as collateral. Funk argues that gives collectors a direct financial stake in the value and scarcity of the very cards PSA grades, which directly contradicts PSA's own marketing that it has no financial stake in the cards it evaluates. Funk's own individual claim is small. He says that he paid roughly $300 to have 7 cards graded, including some Cal Ripken Jr. rookies, through a local card shop rather than a personal PSA account. The class-wide number is a different story. The complaint alleges PSA has graded more than $1 billion in fraudulent grading fees over the 4-year period the class covers. Because RICO allows courts to triple actual damages, the opening number could theoretically balloon to more than $3 billion if a judge accepts both the underlying damages figures and the RICO trebling argument. So yeah, and then they kind of go on, and then the author of this kind of gives their own opinion and whatnot, and there's actually something he says that's really interesting. You'll know that the line between a 9 and a 10 is very thin, sometimes even invisible. In fact, it is a well-known strategy among collectors and resellers to buy high-quality PSA 9 cards, crack the slab, and send them back to PSA in the hopes that the next grader has a different opinion. That inconsistency being a real, common, exploitable pattern lines up with what Funk is alleging. Population manipulation claim is extremely serious, and also the part we think will be hard to prove. Will be hardest to prove. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be hard to prove that it's manipulation because, like I said, I've watched enough videos, and I know enough people that have talked to actual graders that work for PSA. That they'll say, yeah, no, we'll get notes from our supervisors and from management saying, hey, if this card comes through, make sure it doesn't get a 10 because we want to keep the population of that card low. It happened with Charizard. It happened with the first edition Shadowless Charizard that Logan Paul bought. Okay, Logan Paul bought a PSA 9 first edition Shadowless Charizard from the Charizard guy. Charizard guy's pretty popular. He's got like 150 or like, he's got like a lot. He has a lot of Charizards. But there's only a handful of PSA 10 first edition Shadowless Charizards. Now this guy, this particular Charizard that Logan Paul purchased from him, he claims he had cracked the slab like 5 times, sent it back in, and it always came back as a 9. But then as soon as Logan Paul bought it, cracked the slab, sent it in, and it immediately came back as a 10. So no, there's definitely population manipulation, absolutely. And to say otherwise is just a lie, or just delusion. Like, you're just delusional if you think like, oh no, they're not really doing that. It's wild. Anyway, I know it's super late, but I had to make a video about this today, and it's so crazy to me. And like I said, it's just another lawsuit. It's another reason why you shouldn't be grading your card. Like, look, if you want to get your cards graded, get your cards graded. Like, the slabs are cool and stuff like that, but really, I don't feel like it should impact the price of a card so much that if you're not getting them graded, they're worthless. Does that make sense? Like, look, like I said, get cards graded. I mean, I've got a couple slabs. I have a few slabs. I mean, but you know what? You kind of get the same effect. And I've got these on display over here. I'll go grab one real quick. So it's not a slab, but it's just these hard magnet cases. They're really cool for display, and then you can also like switch the card out too. But this is my biggest card in my whole collection right now. I think it's really cool. But anyway, yeah, that's what I have. I mean, I've got a couple slabs, but for the most part, I just have these. They work just as well. They keep your card protected. They keep it flat. They're UV protected, whatever. And you can put a perfect fit sleeve on your card and still fit it into this, just like in a slab. But you can also just open it up. Like, you can just pop that magnet. It's just magnetic. Just pop that up and switch out your cards. It's that easy. I don't understand it. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.